Hi, my name is Megan DePaso, and this is my closing argument from our mock trial case, the State of Arizona v. Storm Thompson. And today, I'm representing Storm Thompson. May it please the court, members of the jury, the issue in this case is who disrupted Creosote Canyon High School on February 15th, 2012. Now, the prosecution wants you to believe that one of Creosote Canyon High School's brightest students, Miss Storm Thompson, is to blame. As a result of her opposition to school budget cuts, Storm has been charged with 4 criminal offenses. Now, each of these charges against Storm requires her to have an element of intent that directed her actions. But the only evidence you heard on her intent was from Storm Thompson, and she told you. She never intended to damage school property, and there was no damage. She never intended for anyone to get hurt, and no one got hurt. And she never intended for the school to go into lockdown. Now, the first 2 charges specifically require Storm to have an element of recklessness. In order for Storm to have acted recklessly, she would have had to consciously disregard a substantial risk. But you heard from Principal Haskins, who decided it wasn't his responsibility to tell Storm that her actions could warrant a lockdown. But who is the adult here today? Let's take a look at who did act recklessly. Principal Haskins knew about the demonstration a month in advance. And where was he getting his information? From Hayden Garza, Storm's supposed friend, who, if Storm is convicted today, stands to gain the one thing she has been pining after for years: Storm spot as valedictorian. But Principal Haskins had 30 days to alert the authorities about the demonstration, and chose not to. He had 30 days to at least talk to Storm, and chose not to. And he had 30 days to come up with a proactive plan, as suggested by school security expert Justice Emerson, simply by locking the gate of the campus, but chose not to. Now, the first 2 charges the state must prove beyond a reasonable doubt is that Storm Thompson threatened to cause damage to property or physical injury to anyone on that property. Now, in order to prove this, they must prove that there was a threat. Principal Haskins would never have let that demonstration onto the campus of Creosote Canyon High School if he believed that the students, teachers, or property were in danger. But he saw the Facebook post, the state's key piece of evidence, a month in advance, and did nothing about it. If he had perceived this as threatening, he would have stopped the demonstration from occurring. But if the principal of Creosote Canyon High School didn't even perceive a threat a month in advance, the state certainly cannot prove that there was one now. Now, according to the 3rd charge, the state must prove that Storm remained at Creosote Canyon High School for the purposes of interfering with the lawful use. However, the lawful use of the school does entitle students to peaceful protest. We, the defense, are not blaming Principal Haskins. We are saying that if Storm's demonstration threatened the campus or the students, the principal would have stopped it. But he didn't. Now, the final charge against Storm is for refusal to obey a lawful order to leave the campus. But there is no evidence that Storm heard that order. You heard from Officer Shea Rivers, who had to admit that he didn't go up directly to Storm Thompson, whom he perceived to be the ringleader of the group, and tell her specifically to leave. The officer also had to admit that the demonstration was uneventful. And keep in mind that Officer Rivers is the only prosecution witness to see the demonstration on the campus of Creosote Canyon High School. The only thing that disrupted Creosote Canyon High that morning was the lockdown. Hayden Garza and Reagan Kennedy both told you that they had no idea the demonstration was on campus until the school went into lockdown. Principal Haskins' lockdown was unnecessary, according to Justice Emerson, and caused more of a disruption than the demonstration ever could. find Storm Thompson not guilty on all 4 charges.